I have a warm-up routine on Aim Lab. The playlist is it's on the workshop. You know, it's one of the more popular ones, so it should be easy to find. It consists of tasks like 6-shot, motion shot, spider shot, micro shot, and micro flex, and a sphere track. It just has a lot of all-around kind of tasks that can help open up my wrist, allows me to warm up, and also just allows for me to kind of practice having good mouse control, and, you know, really keeping it calm and not too shaky, which will really just set me up for a good day of Valorant. How long do I spend on my warm-up? Now, to me, I don't think there's really a definitive answer. It's not 20 minutes, it's not 40 minutes. It's really just how much I want to warm up for. But I also don't want to, you know, spend too much time warming up. Sometimes I want to make sure I get in the nice amount of ranked games and whatnot for the day, for my stream. So sometimes I'll just do it until I feel comfortable. I'll do it until, you know, my aim doesn't feel shaky anymore. Typically I'll find myself warming up between 20 and 40 minutes. That includes, you know, Aim Lab, and then you know, the shooting range, and then deathmatch. I'll usually play 2 to 4 death matches. I'll stick in the range just to warm up my gun mechanics, but I always start off with Aim Labs just to make sure I smooth out my aim. Is there a moment in my warm-up where I just feel ready, where I just feel the shots hitting and I just feel myself? And yes, I think so. It's not so much a click moment. It's more about if you guys, you know, watch Ron Rambo Kim, if you're on the Aim Lab channel, I'm sure you have. He talks a lot about, you know, flow state. Aim Labs, what's great about Aim Labs is it kind of forces you, or not forces you, it gives you an express route into entering flow state, because literally all you have to do is just focus on your crosshair, the targets. And once you do that enough, once you're currently warming up, in my warm-up, right, I pursue accuracy first, because I want to have that positive reinforcement when I hit a target. And then over time, I start off slow, 100% accuracy. Over time, I'll feel myself just tune out everything, and I'll just start going fast and just hitting everything. And once I'm in that flow state, once I'm in that moment, that's when I know, okay, now I'm at the point where I'm awake. I'm ready for the day. And it's not necessarily a click. It doesn't have to be like that. Just at some point, I just realized, wow, I'm really feeling it right now. And that's when I'm like, okay, let's play the game. Back in my prime grinding time, I'd always have a cup of coffee, my hand, maybe 2 sometimes if it's a long day, just to start the day, because I usually start streaming and gaming right as I wake up. So I have to wake up. I need to, you know, get out of that sleepy haze. But you know, recently I used to always believe that caffeine was the make or break of me playing well, but I'm not gonna lie, lately I've found caffeine to not have as much of a correlation with my performance. Sometimes it could actually lead to worse performance. It might make me more jittery. So, you know, on a normal day I would have, you know, one small, just regular cup of coffee, but I've been actually kind of breaking away from that and doing more stuff like meditation and whatnot to try and clear the mind. And I realized that the times I play the best aren't necessarily the times I'm the most alert, but the times where I'm the most focused, which doesn't mean I have to be, you know, jittery or overactive or hyper reactive. I can also just be very zen and just very focused and calm and enter that flow state. It's just all about entering that flow state. Caffeine can help that, but not necessarily. Sometimes it can also work against me, I found. So the next question is, what is my mindset while warming up? So my mindset while warming up is just to kind of, you know, not take it too seriously, especially if it's a big tournament day, big match or whatever. So I try to, you know, start off my day just very calm, just very relaxed, just focusing on, again, the targets and just warming up. Just, it's almost like doing stretches before playing in a sport. So yeah, just don't take it too seriously. Don't get frustrated if you're missing your shots. Again, when I play Aim Labs to warm up, actually my mindset isn't about the score at all. It's all about just being calm. And then I always tell everyone who asks me, just start off slow. Yeah, so my routine has always been changing. I'm always looking for new things I can work on, new things to improve on. I have a very kind of growth-seeking mindset where I'm trying to look for things that I'm bad at. I'm trying to look for scenarios or tasks that I'm not good at, and you know, different mechanics of aiming that I am not as strong at, to try and hone in and focus on. Try to find the tasks that really call me out on, you know, for example, if my tracking or if my micro adjustments aren't very good, things that really hone into that and show me just how bad I am, because then I can, you know, work on improving that, and I can see the improvement on that. What tips or advice do I have for new aimers and beginner aimers? And first and foremost is to, you know, get your baseline, so where you are at as an aimer. And that doesn't mean to just play grid shot and see where your score is out on grid shot. That's not what I mean. I mean, go and play tasks from every single type of, you know, subgenre of aiming. So whether it be tracking, flicking, speed, micro, all those things, go try all those things and see how you shape up, you know, the different scenarios. You can try playlists as well that include a lot of them. For example, my playlist has a little bit of everything. I know Tens also has a playlist that involves a lot of different types of scenarios and tasks. So if you're bad at any of those things, maybe try to have a routine that's more heavily focused on the things that you are weak at. So again, first things first is to get your baseline. Go try a bunch of different scenarios, see how well you do in them, and then shape your routine around what you need to work on. All right, so now I'm going to take you guys through my Valorant settings, starting off with the legendary mouse sensitivity. So a lot of people ask me, you know, how I came up with my mouse sensitivity and how I found the perfect mouse sensitivity and whatnot. Short answer is I never did. I use 0.69 and 0.69 on 400 DPI simply because I am very immature and I thought it was funny, and I feel like I can aim with pretty much any sensitivity if I play it long enough. So to me, honestly, I don't think there's any such thing as the perfect sensitivity. I think people have a range of sensitivity that they can be comfortable in. For me, I think my sensitivity range would probably be anywhere from maybe like 0.48 to like maybe 1 point something, like the low ones on 400 DPI. So anywhere in there, honestly, if I just played it enough, I will get used to. So, you know, my advice to any of you guys out there, don't worry about sensitivity too much. Just find one that you can be comfortable with and just stick with it. So next up, we got my video settings. So here I just play normal native 1920 by 1080. I have all like off, on, off. I don't really think that this is anything important. I just have it. Like, it could be on or off, it doesn't matter to me. But the important thing here for me is the NVIDIA Reflex low latency. I have this on plus boost. I think that's important. I think it makes a difference. So if you guys have a card that supports it, I would definitely suggest turning this on plus boost. Moving on, we have graphics quality. So this is to try and maximize frame rate. It might not necessarily be consistent with my old video settings but that's because I just was sick of having lower frames. So I set everything to low for, you know, this stuff, and then I have off 2x for anti-aliasing, 4x for you know, I'm not even gonna try to say that word, and then off for everything else. So those are my graphics quality settings. And yeah, so, and finally we have the crosshair. So I'm actually going to show you both of my crosshairs, because I know I bounce between two a lot. A lot of you guys ask me. My crosshair command actually has both crosshairs. Right now I have my friend's crosshair, Proto, the pro player for Luminosity, and he gave me this crosshair and I love it. It's a box crosshair here, and the settings are white, no outlines, no dot or anything. It's just inner outlines. It could be inner or out. You just have it on 1613. If you want a smaller box, you can do 1152, but it's 1163. I think I may have said that wrong. So that's the crosshair I use a lot. But then also for my other crosshair that you see me use a lot, like before using this crosshair, was outlines on, and that's my normal kind of the emergency crosshair if the box crosshair isn't working for me. So those are my two crosshairs, and I like them a lot. So first things first, make sure absolutely that your game profile is set to Valorant. Aspect ratio is 16:9. Of course, my sensitivity is 0.69. The field of view should be 103 because that is the field of view or the FOV of Valorant. Make sure it's set to that as well, and then you should be pretty much good. Also, I have my ADS sensitivity set to 0.69, just like I do in Valorant, and that's how I kind of get that same sensitivity, same FOV, same feeling. Now moving on to my crosshair. This is the box crosshair, the one, you know, when I copied from a proto. I figured out how to make it in Aim Labs actually recently, and this is how you do it. So these numbers aren't strict, so you can just copy these ones, but it's 0.09, or you could probably do 0.1 either way. For length, for thickness, it's 0.438, or you could just do 4.4 or 4.3. I doubt there's that much of a big difference, and I have it set to 0.69 again because I'm very immature. You can play around with these, but if you just copy these settings, you're gonna have something that looks very like the box crosshair in Valorant. So now into my game settings. So for me personally, it counts the duration to 2 seconds because 5 seconds, you know, shaves off hours of your life if you aim train enough. So I definitely have that set down to 2 seconds, just to, you know, be a little quicker on the reset times. I reset a lot to try and hit my high score. For the weapon visibility, I have that set to hide to make sure that it doesn't distract me. I just like seeing the crosshair again to try and help encourage that flow state where I only am focusing on the crosshair and the targets, remove all the distractions. For target color, actually I switch between this a lot. I've been using pink recently because I was feeling a little feisty. Red and blue and green, they're all great. It's really just up to preference. I just switched to pink recently because I thought it looked cool. So for graphics, for the best performance, definitely set your display mode to full screen exclusive to make sure you have the lowest amount of input delay. And on top of that, I have my display resolution to 1920 by 1080 at 240 hertz, which is, you know, the resolution of my monitor, and, you know, max queued frames for low latency. The frame rate limiter is off, and the display stretching ratio is off as well. And then in the graphics settings, I have this set to fastest, and then everything is off. 1, for better FPS, and 2, it's less distracting than having, you know, the flares and the target destruction, all of that. I find that very distracting when I'm playing. But also Aim Labs is just very lightweight in general, so you shouldn't have much performance issues with Aim Labs in the first place. So next, I'll be showing you guys how I get the black gray box, which makes it easier to see. Again, removing distractions. What you want to do is go from home to custom up in the tab, and then click gray box. From down here, I just looked at these settings up on Google. So here I have my color mode set to individual, element main, texture is midnight, tints are all set to 0.1 for red, green, and blue. Tilings 1.5, reflections 0, and the smoothness, of course, because of my immaturity, is 0.69. This is my custom gray box, the Ethos custom settings. A lot of it was just ripped from Google and the internet. But yeah, this is how I got the black gray box, and you know, I think it's honestly a lot better for me, a lot less distracting than having the grid or whatnot behind it. So lastly, guys, I just want to finish up by showcasing the newest feature of Aim Lab, the player profile. So if you head on over to aimlab.gg and sign in with your Aim Lab account, you can actually find out a lot of cool stuff about your own account and about your, you know, your aim training career. So you can find, you know, how many times you played, different scenarios, you know, how well you've been doing in them, your best scores, and also just your overall summary of, you know, your rank and you know, it has this cool little hexagon. That's a hexagon looking thing, and it kind of just shows you just how good you are, or, you know, how not good you are. But yeah, this is actually really interesting. I didn't even know that they had this, but it has literally every single task you've ever played and how many times you played it and your best scores, and it's really cool. So definitely check that out, guys. All right, guys, well, that about does it for the Ethos warm-up routine video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And next time, I'll be back for some I don't even know yet, but I'll be back. So make sure to hit that bell. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.